Senator Duckworth.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Following up on the chairman's questions, which is also my first question, Mr. Rushlow, can you tell me if this new methodology using the AI or whatever other methodology you're using to look at the aggregate data is being applied to other airports where there is close helicopter traffic in proximity to landing aircraft?
Yes, Senator, it is. We have 10 locations around the United States, including Alaska, Anchorage, that we're looking through right now, what we are referring to as hotspots, to look at similar trends, similar activities as it relates to fixed wing and helicopter operations.
Is this methodology of reviewing aggregate data going to be applied nationwide, not just in this particular area, but to look at the overall trends of near misses at other airports, not just between fixed wing and rotary wing?
Yes, ma'am. So there are 3 activities going on right now. First, the hotspots I referred to. Second is kind of a nationwide use of this review and use of this new capability that we've just admitted. And then, of course, the ongoing analysis and how we're doing that with our industry partners as well as the military.
Thank you. According to NTSB, between, as we've said, between October 2021 and December 2024, there were more than 15,000 instances of commercial aircraft coming close to helicopters. 85 of those had a vertical separation of less than 200 feet. General Brayman, do you know how many of those 85 close calls involved Army helicopters?
Ranking Member Duckworth, we do not.
Can you tell me why that is?
That data in those databases is currently not shared, but certainly the Army is interested in becoming part of an opportunity to share data because that's relevant to our safety as well.
Mr. Rushlow, will the FAA commit to sharing that data with the Army?
Yes, ma'am, we will.
Thank you.
We've also asked for that information, and we're going to share it as part of our investigation with all the parties.
And I think this needs to be ongoing into the future so that especially the military aircraft that are flying within rotary wing close vicinity, these folks should be getting this data, and we can do that moving forward. Administrator, well, FAA, or I've already asked that. General Brayman, can you explain the Army's rationale for its policy that gives commanders discretion to determine how many crew chiefs are needed for a particular mission? I think it's important. I don't think that the civilian population understands the extent to which the Army does risk assessment and risk mitigation and risk analysis and that process. I think would be important. And how are you going to be implementing that process moving forward?
Thank you, Ranking Member Duckworth. I realize that I have broad authority as the Army aviation regulation proponent to direct how every aircraft and every operator conducts their mission. But the reality is, and I'm not afraid to take that authority and use it when appropriate, the reality is the best individuals we have to assess the risk of every single flight are our unit commanders because we hold them responsible. They have the authority, the responsibility, and we hold them responsible to take any mission that they authorize, look at the factors involved, understand the people assigned to their organization, and adapt that crew to meet those requirements. And certainly that is something that will be looked at in this investigation. Do we do that? And we will hold commanders accountable if they fail to uphold that responsibility.
Can you speak to if a risk assessment for a particular mission comes in at medium or high risk, how the approval authority of that changes? Because you mentioned the approval authority for the DCA area has been raised higher for ADSB out, correct?
Yeah, yes, Senator. So all missions go through an initial approval process. So a commander has to authorize a reason for an aircraft to fly. At the completion of that authorization, the crew then assesses all the risks associated, known and expected risks associated with the mission they've been tasked to do. That discussion involves a third party, a senior officer or senior aviator within the organization that then assesses that risk and directs the crew to make any changes to mitigate anything that either that briefing officer understands based on their experience. And then when those things are implemented, it goes back to a commander who must authorize every single flight. So in the occurrence of things like ADSB out operations, that authority resides with a medium risk authority. So a battalion commander must approve that mission in particular. And in this case, the policy allowed that to be delegated down to a company commander. And they must approve that it meets the standards of the policy completely. We have now elevated that risk to high risk. That requires an 06 commander to approve any mission that has ADSB off.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to ask your indulgence for an extra 30 seconds because my next question, I think, applies to everybody here, and I think people will be interested.
Please proceed.
Thank you. This is for the FAA. I am hearing that there is a backlog of air traffic controllers waiting to get their FAA medicals approved so that they can return to duty. And we have an air traffic controller shortage right now. I think in the Chicagoland area, there's about a dozen air traffic controllers who are waiting for, they got new medication, whatever it is, but they're waiting as long as 12 to 18 months to get an appointment or to get a ruling from the FAA medical office so that they can actually get back on the job. And they're just sitting there not able to do their job. And I think this is a problem at all of the major airports around the country. I'm sure every one of us has air traffic controllers waiting to be put back onto duty, and they can't because of the backlog with the FAA medical system. Can you speak to that? And will you commit, if I give you a list of my air traffic controllers who've been waiting, will you take a look at those folks and make sure that their medical issues are addressed so we can get them back on the job?
Yes, Senator, I commit to that.